Anyone could mine coins using any simple computing equipment in the early days of Bitcoin and first-generation cryptocurrencies. Until approximately 2013, a basic GPU was all that was required. However, as the value of Bitcoin increased and more miners entered the market, cryptocurrency mining got increasingly competitive, to the point that it now necessitates specialized mining technology. Crypto mining is no longer a viable option for the average person. Bitmain has a de facto monopoly on mining equipment supply, and only 6 mining pools control the bulk of BTC mining activity, with the top 3 controlling 50%. Because mining activity is so concentrated in China, a localized power loss might cause a market meltdown. Mining Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies will only grow more centralized as the cryptocurrency gets more institutionalized. Pi, a blockchain effort led by 2 entrepreneurs with a Stanford PhD in computer science and social sciences, aims to make cryptocurrencies, and mining in particular, more accessible to the general public. What exactly is Pi? Pi was created with the goal of re-democratizing access to cryptocurrencies by allowing anybody to mine them using readily available technology, like as a smartphone. The project is this by utilizing a variant of the Federated Byzantine Agreement, FBA, which was developed by the Stellar blockchain scientists. The FBA has a different method than proof of work and the various variations on proof of stake, which rely on one miner or validator becoming the leader by submitting a block for consensus. Rather than electing a leader, this consensus model relies on nodes obtaining agreement on a specific block through a series of votes conducted through message exchange. Byzantine fault tolerance, BFT, which is used in different blockchains such as Ripple, Hyperledger Fabric, and Zilliqa, is a well-known form of algorithm that employs such a method to establish agreement. However, one critique of BFT consensus models, in general, is that they contain a point of centralization because the system designer decides the voting quorum at genesis. Pi utilizes an additional layer of FBA to avoid centralization by allowing each node to create its own quorum slices in a decentralized way. Rather than relying on a central authority, this feature allows nodes to decide for themselves whether or not to trust other nodes. Pi's consensus method uses extremely little energy since the communications involved in voting are quite low, especially when compared to proof of work. How to mine for Pi? By installing the Pi Network app to their smartphone, users may engage in Pi mining. They can then take part in the Pi consensus in one of 4 ways. Pioneers are app users that merely confirm their presence every time they log in. Their contribution is to make Pi Network more publicly available. They can currently only transmit and receive test Pi on the Pi testnet using their Pi wallets. Contributors are users who supply and keep an up-to-date list of pioneers they know and trust. Contributors are ultimately assisting in the development of the global trust graph required for Pi's consensus. Ambassadors are Pi Network users who introduce others to it. Nodes are early adopters and contributors who additionally use a desktop or laptop computer to run the Pi node software. Pi nodes do the hard lifting of executing the blockchain's consensus mechanism and will rely on a trust graph compiled from trustworthy pioneers given by mobile contributors. Participants can take on many roles. They obtain freshly minted Pi every day as a result of their involvement and commitment to Pi. Pi's current value is said to be 0. The Pi team thinks that value may be created by creating Bitcoin utilities that allow users to use Pi to exchange goods and services at scale throughout the world. These commodities and services will eventually support Pi's value. Privacy and know your customer. Pi has a KYC procedure in place to protect the network's integrity. To be able to move Pi into the Pi mainnet blockchain, users must provide a copy of their ID. This stops people from abusing the system by creating several accounts, running bots or farms, and so on. Pi is also on its way to becoming one of the first and largest certified networks. The KYC procedure and data are currently secured by a trusted third-party provider. According to its privacy policy, the firm pledges to keep user data safe and not to sell or otherwise exploit user KYC data. Changes and a roadmap. Since 2018, Pi has been in development. The project is currently in the testnet phase. The Pi testnet, which is open to the public, now has over 10,000 nodes linked with stable liveness, making it one of the world's largest and most powerful distributed networks once the mainnet debuts. Users may join the Pi testnet by downloading the Pi desktop program Pi Node from the company's website, node.mypi.com, and using an existing Pi mobile app account. The network will remain in testnet until the end of 2021, after which it will be launched on mainnet. Meanwhile, the Pi team is working on its Pi Utilities platform, which will support the Pi ecosystem by allowing the whole network to participate and construct the route to value generation. The project recently announced new improvements and plans for its utility platform for Q2 2021, including platform interaction with the Pi testnet, which allows third-party Pi apps to request transactions from users' Pi wallets and make transactions on the testnet. These capabilities will allow Pi users to use their Pi tokens in Pi-based apps once the mainnet becomes live. The Pi browser is a Pi network mobile application that was released in March 2021. The team is working on a new developer site and a standardized environment for developers to design and distribute ecosystem apps. It's fair to say that Pi is taking a slow and steady approach to debuting on the mainnet, which is in contrast to many other platforms. The reason for this is that the project is using the beta launch to iterate and enhance the protocol in collaboration with community members and engineers, as well as to build an ecosystem and community around the currency in order to bootstrap an economy. The idea is that by the time the mainnet goes live, there will already be a large network of users who are satisfied with the product and ecosystem of apps available. Pi is available in 238 countries and 52 languages right now. Dr. Nicholas Kokolas and Dr. Cheng Dao Fan formed Team Pi. Dr. Kokolas earned his PhD from Stanford and taught Stanford's first class on decentralized apps. He also co-teaches Stanford's Beyond Bitcoin program once a year. He realized the difficulties of making blockchain technology accessible to regular people while presenting his apps class. Dr. Fan graduated from Stanford University with a PhD in computational anthropology. Her research has focused on human-computer interactions and social computing, or how technology may be utilized to improve human behavior in society. The Pi team is made up of 14 people that work from all around the world. Conclusion: the entrance hurdles to mining most major cryptocurrencies are now so high that most people are unable to participate. Mining Pi on a smartphone is a simple and convenient method to keep track of daily Bitcoin earnings. The usefulness of such incentives, however, is contingent on Pi gaining traction and utilizing the network effect. The incentives will only have real-world value until enough people join and are willing to exchange goods and services in Pi. In this sense, Pi's success is contingent on its capacity to reach a sufficient number of people and utilities. Pi has a good chance of succeeding when it goes live on the mainnet if the project can overcome this hurdle.